don't know what I'm doing. Everything's blown away.
Yeah, it's saying it's enough with it.
Very good day at getting tested. Did all the things wrong that you would probably expect. Okay, first time ever doing lactate testing, and I bought the Edge lactate meter. The reason for that is I'm living in Amsterdam and it was hard to buy the strips, test strips for the other meters, so that's the reason why I chose this one. And as well as that, I've got some alcohol wipes to clean the finger. Then I've got the Lancet for pricking the finger and then for the blood. And I did try doing this last night, but I'm just going to show you because I've never actually done it before, and then it ended up taking quite some time. For this one, yeah, I mean, I'm in Amsterdam, so maybe I think most of them are quite standard from what I can see. But you like twist this, pull it off, and then there was already one in there from when I tried it last night. So then you put a new one in and you just push it down into it goes about 1/3 of the way down. You can see just the red there. And then, yeah, you take the end off without pricking yourself. But then you click this back and you'll hear it click. And then you can choose how far you want it to prick into your finger. I tried doing this on 3 last night and that was completely fine. And then after that, you pull this back to allow it to trigger into your finger. I must say, like, I didn't really enjoy doing this. It's only a little needle, but it's still a little bit of a shock when it happens. Alcohol wipe the finger down. I've also got some tissue to get rid of the first drop of blood. And then, yeah, the fun part. So you press it against your finger. You actually say at the side, so I'm going to do it at the side this time. And then, yeah, actually that wasn't as bad as last night. Maybe I'm already. So then you squeeze some blood out. I'm going to show you this way because then you can actually see. So I'm going to wipe that first bit of blood. Hopefully we can get some more, otherwise we're going to have to prick the finger on a different location. Okay, so now that's done, I'm going to turn the meter on, and then we can open these test strips. Take one out holding the white end, so then you're not accidentally contaminating anything. Then you push this in to the end. And then it's got some kind of indicator saying to take the blood sample now. And then you need to get this to touch the blood but not your finger. Now it's beeped, so it's saying it's taking a reading. So it says 6.5. I must have really ran quick from the bathroom early. 1.7, and I will get rid of all of the things that have got blood on or that sort of thing. Extra energy if needed. I've already got in here 2 tripods, book, other camera, and then all of these things. I've literally never taken so many things to the track before. I must admit, trying to do this for the first time and then video is quite stressful. So the test, it's 5-minute intervals followed by 30 seconds rest, which I basically think is impossible to get the readings done in that time, as well as that you don't know where you're going to finish on the track. But that's the protocol, and I'm going to start at 4 minutes per kilometre, then 350, 340, 330, and then we're going to start going in 5-second intervals, 325, 320. I don't know if I'll get further than that. When I did the lab test in January, my LT2 was 315, so that's what I don't think that's where I'm at the moment. If I can't hit that number, then it's going to mean that I've lost fitness, which isn't ideal. I would hope that it's going to be somewhere near. That would give me some confidence going into the rest of the year. But because I'm also still recovering from overtraining, it's going to be hard to say. Other things that I'm going to be recording are time of day, location, wind, temperature, and then as well as that I'm going to be recording RPE out of 1 to 10. I'm going to be recording heart rate, but other than that I'm going to get into it. Track mode on, let's go for it. Ref number 1. Here we go. 4 minutes done. Time to test. Windy. Don't know what I'm doing. Okay, we're already being 50 seconds. Done nothing. Okay, wiping the finger. Lock and load. Yep. Squeezing the blood out. There's not much coming. More blood. Okay, the blood's coming this time. It's not too bad. Actually, see, I've only got 3 strips, so I've already fucked them. So I'm going to go straight to 340. It's taken 3 minutes to take the reading. It's 3.5, which obviously is a bit weird. This is already going badly wrong. It won't take the blood. That touched my finger, so I don't actually know. And I keep losing the page, but yeah, we're now being 3 minutes. So yeah, it says 4.1. 330 done. I'm now over at the 200 meter point. That's number 1. Definitely don't video on your first ever time, but I'm over the stress now. Now everything's blown away. It's even better. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to prick my finger in. Okay. Touch the finger several times. 4.5. Get away. 320 done. Yeah, it's saying it's not okay. Very good day at getting tested. Did all the things wrong that you would probably expect. Sunday morning, 3 days later than the first attempt. Back again to give it another go. Wearing the same clothes, hoping for a different result. I'm going to do another test run because the main thing that I found was actually taking the blood sample. That was the biggest problem I had once I got to the track. So since then I've been looking at what it is that you can do better because I just couldn't get enough blood out of my finger, so I was definitely doing it wrong. So I took a look and then I've picked up some new tips to give it a go. And the first thing is to turn this up to maximum, so then the needle punctures your skin further. The second one is that you should take the sample at the side and not on the top. Number 1, it hurts less because there's less nerves. And number 2, you should be able to get more blood. So we're going to give this a go and see whether it works. The other main thing is I've actually got a tube full of test strips, so we're not going to run out when we also go to the track. But number 1, I'm going to try and take a good blood sample. I'm I'm pretty tired. I went to a theme park all day yesterday after doing, well, long run. I did like 22 kilometers yesterday morning, so yeah, I'm still feeling quite tired, and I know that will have an effect on the test, but I've also like wrote this down in some comments, just what I got up to yesterday, so then I know when I go to do the test again that yeah, I was particularly tired today. So yeah, I've showed you in the previous one, but I removed this top by twisting it, and then I'm going to insert a new Lancet, and that only goes in so far. Somehow it's got stuck. Then remove the end, and then you've got the actual needle showing. Click this back into place, so that's now set on the highest. The other thing that I messed up when I was out was not having this switched on. So fingers dry from wiping with the alcohol, so the finger's clean. And now I'm gonna do my favourite part. We also need to pull this back to trigger it. Oh, sorry, there was one other thing. So the other thing was I wasn't really getting enough blood flow, and they said that you should hold your arm like still by the side of you for like 10-15 seconds to get some blood to flow down. So yeah, I'm gonna try that also when I'm out at the track. Okay. And also you shouldn't press where you want the blood to come out. You want to like force the blood from your finger downwards. The other thing that you could do if you've got this problem is that these are like very thin needles. So it's possible to just then get some bigger needles, so then you're more likely to get a better sample. I'm going to put this strip. Now it's saying take a sample, but this just can't touch the skin, and then you need enough blood. Oh, that was actually easier than when I did it before. Yeah, I mean, that says it was 2.6, which yeah, it doesn't really seem correct to me. The thing that I figured out is that with this lactate meter, then you put this in. This calibrates the strips, but this is like has a unique number, and that is related to the strips that you have. And I had like the old one in, so okay. This also says 2.2, which is not what I would expect. As the lactate reading was like 2.2 at home, that would probably say like that's the top end of what could be acceptable for like baseline or at rest. So I think that also indicates that probably I'm not ready to like train hard, which also I said I was tired because of being at the theme park and then doing long run yesterday, so that kind of matches up with how I feel. That was 1.1. Did slightly touch my skin. It says 1.2. I'm
going to jump straight to 330 because I think at the moment it's going okay. Not struggling for blood anymore. 1.7 of 2.3. So let's do 325. That was quite hard. The wind is so strong. 3.2. Yeah, now I'm not thinking so clean. This will be the last one though. That was hard. Make sure to switch it on. Oh wow. Yeah, we really jumped there. 6.8. Obviously it went a lot better than last time. I can definitely use this as a baseline.
And that was an absolute masterclass in how not to use a lactate meter in training. But jokes aside, I think it's to be expected that it didn't go smoothly, and that is the reality of using it for the first time.
Now everything's blown away.
I'm not saying that the second test was a masterclass in how to carry out lactate readings, but I will say that I'm confident in the results and they seem to match up with what I would have expected. So first of all, let's take a look at the lactate readings against the other metrics that I took during the testing. Intervals of 5 minutes, the first one being at 4 minutes 10, and then I got down to 3 minutes 20. And the first one took 4 minutes for recovery, and then the last one took 3 minutes, and they did vary between 3 to 5 minutes in terms of the time it took to take the test. As you can see, the lactate readings then gradually increased as the pace went up, but the first important metric I would say is around 3 minutes 40 per kilometre, because you see a lactate reading of 1.7. That's then moving above baseline. I'll show you this when you get into the graph, but this is around where your aerobic threshold is, or LT1, but we'll get into that. Last one, which is number 7, and that is where I went over the anaerobic threshold, or LT2. You see we've got a lactate reading in millimoles per litre of 6.8, and then heart rate max was 165, which actually isn't as high as I would have thought, based on the fact it felt pretty hard at the time. So there isn't anything unusual about the results. This is what I expected to see. And based on this, it is showing that I've lost some fitness, because in January I did lab testing, and then my LT1 was 335 per kilometre and LT2 was 315 per kilometre. And if we now look at the graph, we can see that, just getting the graph up on my screen, where I've made an estimate of around 348 for LT1, so that's, yeah, let's do the maths, 13 seconds per kilometre slower, and then I've made an estimate of LT2 being around 323. Now for LT1 on the graph, that is where it starts to move away from baseline, so it's very steady, and then it should get some kind of gradual increase. I mean, if I'd done a reading at 345, then I might have had a better idea of exactly where that is, but this is good enough for using this for training in the future. And then LT2, anaerobic threshold, that would be where you see a sharp increase in the curve going upwards. And yes, again, I've just made an estimate. Maybe if I'd done a reading between 325, or if I'd done an interval between 325 and 320, you might have something more accurate. But again, this is good enough. So those results do show that I've lost fitness, and I do believe that is the case. I don't believe I'm as fit as I was when I did that lab testing, but we can also look at it from another perspective. This was out on the track in the summer, in the wind, and it was very windy. So I think you could expect that that would have some kind of 3 to 5 seconds per kilometre impact on the results. And as well as that, I'm doing testing out on the track compared to the controlled conditions of a lab. The equipment is different. So overall, I'm not really going to compare the two. I do believe that I'm not as fit as I was then, but this is to use as a baseline going forward. I have these numbers now, but if I do this again in another 4 or 6 weeks, that's what I want to use it for, to check that I'm moving in the right direction in terms of fitness. Now, would I be doing this all the time? No, I think it's quite time consuming and it does interfere with your training quite a lot, but I do want to be using it for different length intervals to check that how I feel is matching up with the lactate readings and matching up with heart rate data. So I will be doing it periodically for different types of training sessions. Some tips for carrying out your first lactate testing or going through this process in general. Number one, get used to using the Lancet. I thought this would be very straightforward, but the issue I had was actually trying to get a good blood sample. Number two is practice sweeping the lactate strip upwards. So when you've got a blood sample here, when you've got a blood sample here, you want to sweep upwards, whereas before I was trying to push it at the side, and because it's kind of trying to puncture the blood that's sticking up, and then that doesn't work so well. Number three, just don't put pressure on yourself. I put pressure on myself all the time, which is something that works in my favour, but sometimes it doesn't. And trying to record a YouTube video as well as taking the lactate meter readings, I was being too harsh on myself. Expect that it's going to go wrong, I would say. And number four, just check exactly how your own lactate meter works. I messed up with the coding strips that go in the back. They match up with the test strips that come in the bottle, so you can match up the numbers. That was something I did when I was here, and then the reading was completely wrong, and then when I put a new one in, okay, yeah, that was also quite high. Maybe that's because the strips hadn't been out of the fridge long enough. But once I got to the track, the strips were working completely fine. The verdict: do you need to be pricking your finger at 8 AM on a windy track to run a good marathon? Definitely not. But if you're more likely to turn a training session into a time trial, then this could be for you. The strips are expensive, but they're definitely cheaper than physiotherapy. Catch me on the next one. Thanks for listening.
The company was clearly underway years ago in Levittown. In years, audiences have screamed for Duran Duran, U2, Flock of Seagulls, Taylor Dane, and Debbie Gibson, to name a few. In case you're wondering what's coming up next on Uncle Sam,